So when a loved one passes away or you are named the executor of estate, this could become very overwhelming from a financial point of view, especially when you're having to deal with the emotional aspect of someone that has just passed away. So we're going to focus on a video series to help you determine what has to be done and the action items that should be taken in order to settle an estate. So what's the role of an executor? The role of an executor is essentially to read the will, to protect the assets of the estate, pay out all the liabilities and any amounts owing, and disperse the assets to the beneficiaries. So let's get into step one of how to settle an estate. And that's essentially going to be, you need to read the will. And the will really designates who the executor is, who the trustee is, who the beneficiaries of any minor children is, and what the wishes of the deceased for burial reasons or cremation, and then who the beneficiaries of all the assets are. So the executor's role is really to read the will, designate who these people are within the will, and to start settling the estate. Now, let's go a step back. What if you can't even find the will? The most common places that wills can be found are in the home of the deceased, with the lawyer of the deceased, in a safety deposit box, and lastly can be found registered in the province that the deceased lived in. So the first place you should look is in the deceased home. But if you haven't already been told where that will is kept, this can be the most difficult place to find a will. So then you will contact the deceased lawyer. But again, if you don't even know who the deceased lawyer is, that is going to become a very difficult task in order to obtain a copy of the will. If you know there's a safety deposit box, you can go to the bank. But again, if you don't have that key, you often may run into troubles on obtaining the copy of the will. So in every province, obtaining access to that safety deposit box is a little bit different. But what you should do is make an appointment with the bank, bring your ID, and bring a death certificate in order to have the box opened by the bank. Once the safety box is opened, if the person at the bank can identify you as the executor, check your ID, they should release the copy of the will to you if it's in the safety deposit box. Lastly, if you cannot find the will anywhere, again, the process is a bit different in each province, and we will include some information on how it works in some of the provinces across Canada. But you can apply essentially to the province or to the courts to obtain a copy of the registered will. And this is at a cost, but a minor cost, in order to get a copy of that will.